We'll edit that out, yeah.
Yeah, we'll edit that out. It's fine. Hello, I'm Adam Esbjörnsson. It's my brother Isaac Björnmark, Esbjörnsson Björnmark. We're sitting here with Hugh Angseating, Vita's celebrity of a sort, doing a bit of an interview.
Yeah.
So how do you feel?
Really, really comfortable, and the smell from Isaac's feet in particular is making me feel very comfortable.
It's Swedish tradition, no shoe rule. It's
understood.
Okay.
And the sucking of the brains of the crayfish. Another Swedish tradition.
Yes, another Swedish tradition. And when did you start playing Vitas?
1994.
And release?
Yes. Well, slightly post-release. We had some revised Magic cards, and we weren't playing Magic, so the store at that time used to sell lots of Magic singles, so we were able to trade our Magic cards for a fantastic new game called Vampa. I think it sounds like revised, yeah.
Who made you start the game?
I had this friend called Ratty, real name Roland. I have no idea what had happened to him since then. And he used to play the RPG games when we were 13, 14 or so. He thought it'd be really, really cool. It was a card game, and we like card games, and we moved on from there. I mean, we played a lot of other card games. Some of them were really bad. We don't talk about Spellfire, Blood Wars.
So, have you played consistently ever since?
No. I was, let me think, 94. I was 12. That was such a struggle now. We played from about 12 to 16. So the first 4 years. So that's the first 2.5 years or whatever of releases, and a little bit post Spat. And then we had a break. Because we couldn't get any cards, the game was dead, and we're at the age where we didn't drive, or the internet didn't really exist. It did, but not in the same way it does now. So we didn't realise there's still other people around the place playing, so we stopped playing. Got to university a couple of years later, and I started replaying maybe when I was about 20.
Okay.
I still always had the cards.
Where did you pick up the game again?
So some other guys at uni who I lived with happened to also have cards and a little shoebox of Ancient Hearts and everything, and I saw the new stuff being released. So we used to, I don't know if you had it in Sweden, probably had it across the world. Scry used to come around. No, you really used to buy it, but it has a free promo card in for the new set. So I guess Friday night's first. So no, it's Missions of War. Oh, that's really bad. And I can't remember what the one was for Spark War.
Lucita?
Yes. So you had a Lucita in kind of scry, and I remember getting an Inner Star and maybe a Hesher for Final Nights.
Okay.
Long ago, and started from there.
Okay.
When did you start playing tournaments and going abroad?
Well, so we had one tournament back when we were that age, which I don't know what happened to it. So it was all run by the DCI or whatever they call themselves, Magic Reps, long ago. We had one tournament there, no idea what happened. And after that, first tournament I went to was in Cambridge, so I was up in Nottingham at the time, didn't drive, so I got a random train down to Cambridge, and had to leave because they used to do tournaments over 2 weeks, so on a weekday, so they do half 1 week, half the next week. Bit weird, I know, but
like one round 1 week and one round.
Two rounds 1 week, final next week.
Oh, okay.
Got the train down, so I swept the first round, and then had to go home because I was going to miss my train and get stuck there. And I only just met these guys. So and then came back the next week, won. So I probably got a lower seeding because I should have had 3 wins, but yeah, that's how it goes.
So you won your first tournament?
Yeah, and my second.
What kind of deck?
So the first one was back in, I guess, 2000, 2001. I think hazy of which year it was. And it was a Tremere deck, and I guess I guess it's pre-Kana, so it would have been Group 1, 2, and it probably would have had Shotgun Ritual and in good cards like that.
First turn, Walk of Shame?
Yeah, so it would have been like Merrill and Astrid and friends like that, and some kind of clever rudimentary govern chain where, or I play 4 governs maybe or something like that. And it was definitely, an 85 to 90 card deck. There was cards in there that really shouldn't have been in there, but they were fun, so you put them in there. I don't know, probably something daft like Finger Dagger or something. I didn't have many Magic Smiths back then, so it was an awkward deck.
When did you start going abroad?
Well, so the next one I went to was probably what started the interest. It was in Bath. So it's the first one I got in. Well, maybe it's the second one I got in the TWA, because I think this is weird. You might have to cut this as well. The first one, the Tremere one in Cambridge, that's recently turned up in TWA, or like a year ago or something like that. It's never been in there in between, from memory. So the first one in TWA was this Gangle Sans deck and all that kind of stuff. And you do Force of Will, you bleed for 3, you get to torpor, you come back out again, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I met Rob Treasure, Andy Coleman and Barney Baker and all these kind of celebrities, Legbiter. So I met all these guys, and it was the first time I met them. And so I went to qualify. I missed the qualifier that year, so they all went off to Barcelona. I hadn't even thought about it. I was still a student, broke, kind of like you guys permanently are. And then I went to nationals, and they all talked about it, and so it was so good. And I can't remember how the nationals went. It wasn't great that year. But then by the time I got on to the next year, I'd moved. I was living in Reading, which had its own play group. It was quite near Anthony, quite near London guys, and there's these regular tournaments in Watford, so I saw them quite regularly. So we had a qualifier, which was in Cambridge, weirdly enough, so I ended up going back there, and I came 5th by, I think it was, I think I had to rely on Mike Nudd, weirdly enough, to oust somebody, otherwise that person would have been 5th, and we only had 19 guys at the qualifier, so I would have been number 6. So I got to the final, which meant I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted to get to Heidelberg, because I hadn't been anywhere exciting for ages. So that was that. And I think I went to visit Alex in Easter first as well, before going off to Heidelberg.
So
I think that's my first time abroad in Sweden.
First time abroad in Sweden.
But it's really, my memory is really quite hazy. Basically, I did Sweden and Paris, more or less quite at similar times. I think, maybe actually it must have gone to Heidelberg first and then gone to Sweden and Paris immediately afterwards. It must be that way around. That makes more sense.
Okay.
Because I'd met Alex online and he wasn't. He was. Yeah. So we were going to meet. I can't remember. I'm totally lost. I'll have to look at the TWA.
But this is in 2004?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah,
so 7-8 years.
Yeah, so 7 years you're traveling abroad, and you right now probably one of the best teachers players that's around. A lot of people think, at least.
Thanks, so.
So, how would you define your play style?
Patient. So,
in what way?
Well, I'm quite happy to let people do stuff, let them kill their prey. There's no need to try and control the table in a really overt manner. I'm quite happy to let the game develop, but I think it's really important that somebody gets ousted around the hour mark or before then. Otherwise, games seem to have a habit of dragging on. So I'm quite keen that people do die and therefore do successful actions.
Yeah.
In terms of how I adapt that my playstyle, I like a lot of toolboxy decks. I like being able to block, I like being able to bleed a little, I like being able to hit a little. So I like things with sticks, I like a little bit of animalism with things like Deep Song, and I like that kind of mix and max opportunity. I used to play a lot of vote decks, and then I had I don't know, I think...
Traumatic experience.
Yeah, might have been dramatic upheaval and Kindred Restructured being banned. Which meant I no longer had to play vote decks to counteract those cards.
Right.
So I think it's Heidelberg, which sounds really weird, which put me off playing vote decks. Because I just remember 2 days as it was back then. So it would have been a last chance qualifier and main day. I just remember a lot of tables, people voting. It was really slow. I tried to vote deck on one of them, and I got 0-0-0. And the other day I did really well, but relatively. The 0-0 stuck in my head, so I decided not to play vote decks for a while. It's quite hard playing a vote deck when you're particularly in a foreign country where people's level of English is quite different, and my English is perfect, but my accent is can be awkward. I talk softly too much. Some people call it mumbling. I don't know. I leave it up to you to decide. So that kind of put me off the vote deck. So from there on, I kind of went the toolbox route. So Smeedy Prey Punisher, for instance, was kind of the way I was going, thinking about.
You have this thing with making tournament-winning decks for different clans?
I do, yes. So I technically copied somebody, and who I copied is slightly up for debate. So it was either Matt Morgan's idea or Ben Peel's idea to go through the A to Z of vampire clans and get TWA for each clan. Don't really mind which one of them it is. They both still try to do it as well, sort of. And I try to use the clans I haven't run with before. Some exceptions. So day one, I'll normally cheat and use something that I think will get to day two, and everything else I just play. It's really different.
Which clan are you missing?
Well, so today I tried Toreador, so I'm still missing Toreador.
Oh, that's quite...
it's quite easy. It's that one is probably the easiest one I have left in the list. I have Brouillard, which I've tried a few times with Euro Brouillard. Because I had all my cards long ago, I kind of stick with group 1, 2 and 3. It's not all the time, but I'm a bit old fashioned. So I like the older stuff.
Dominate fashioned, maybe?
Yeah, maybe dominate fashioned. You guys can talk. So yeah, I'm stuck there with Euro Brouillard as well. And Giovanni, so those are probably the 3 decent clans that are left. And then I've got things like Abominations, Panda, Truja, which I've tried, Nagaraja, which I've tried so many times, so many different ways, it's all awful. Nosferatu Tribute, Daughters, Blood Brothers, Sandy, let's go with some others. And the followers of Set, I guess they're quite easy, which I've skipped. Asmites, because they're ass. Not sure. There's got some others.
Okay. So
Catered, if you count them, and Imbued, which I don't count.
10 to 15.
Yeah, there's enough. So I've gone past the midpoint. So there's 36 clans. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not entirely sure.
And part of the problem is, so if I'd started it at day one, I'd be doing quite well. I'd probably have less wins though. But I've got like 4 Tremere wins or 4 Gangle wins or something like that. So all the early stuff was in the way.
When you build a deck or choose a deck, do you have what's the end goal for you? Is it to play something fun, or build something innovative, or build something sleazy, or what's?
It depends. Generally not sleazy. So.
But if we rephrase that to competitive, like if you want to win, you only think about what's efficient.
I'm quite harsh on all my decks, so there'll be 1 in 10 will be allowed to have a trick which is awful and never works, like Raptor or something like that. Yeah. And the other 9, if they want to stay in sleeves, because I only have so many sleeves, so many boxes, or whatever, and therefore get played, then they've got to have a certain level of efficiency. So it doesn't have to be dominate. It means that they've got to be able to oust reasonably.
Yes, you prioritize throughput, or in deck building, not as much trick.
Yeah, the trick stuff I tried a lot more when I was younger, and you know, the Eyes of Hasmel, the Legion, you know, all these kind of things. And they're all great, but well, it depends. I mean, it depends where you're playing them. So if you're playing them in pickup, it's great because you're doing this cool trick, Regiment Seas, and that is fantastic. But I think it's difficult enough with something like Nagaraja, so it has to be as efficient a possible deck as it can be. Although I've seen clever Nagaraja consuming the dead or whatever that Sebastian Mura was playing, and that looks great because it's got Bizarin as well. Trademark. And yeah, so it depends. When I'm stuck on this, I cheated a bit. So, like, I had an Animals and Combat module which went between several different Animals and clans, and essentially they're the same. So, like, the Akanansi was more or less the same as the Gurui, which was more or less the same as, well, sort of as the Noz. The Noz cheated because it used the girls' master module, which is the same as the Toriel Tap and Bleed master module. So I do bits that work, I will plug and play.
Okay, to reach your end goal, 36 clan entries.
Yeah, like the Ventru, the sticks. There was Ventru and Tribute. I have a Ventru version because I've forgotten that I already had a Ventru win.
For Coston or
just I've completely forgotten about it.
Well, when you sit down at a table, what do you see as your own biggest strength?
My own biggest strength, really good at reading people and what they've got.
Their personality, or what they're playing and what their end goal is?
Both.
Both.
I think I'm quite good at that. Yeah, I don't think I'm good at that.
how do you use it to your advantage? Does it like affect your playstyle in a particular way, do you think, or do you just make whatever everyone else does that is a little bit better?
Don't know, actually. I mean, I guess the way I think about it is that I'll do lots of simple actions, which a lot of people will just do really cool, clever stuff, because that's what they're trying to do. It's like, just do for one, even though you've got all this chain, it's fine. So if that makes sense.
So you play kind of slowly?
Yeah, I don't think there's any need to spurt your load all over the first prey.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's all about. There's no point going up really quickly, and yes, I think some decks. So I've tried playing Top Dog, and I've managed to get them out of the way. So Gargoyles are fine done, but so the way Top Dog initially went and seemed to get played was you go around the table, you crush everybody, and you Grave Rob or you Golconda or whatever, or you Grave Rob then Golconda. And you had to go really quickly, you had to take everybody out, so you had table control that way. I don't like playing decks like that, and I don't think they're very good. So like Dragon Breath Rounds, I think it has, that's a similar kind of deck to Top Dog. It has far too many issues. Ignore Scourge, and that kills it anyway, but you're trying to not look threatening with a load of Saturday specials in play. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So you have to go fast. And what happens is you end up stabilising the table, which is good in some ways because it means that you end up with less table timing.
Yeah.
But no, I've timed the Top Box. That was embarrassing.
Do you see yourself as a table talking player or more of a playing player?
So I talk a lot, but not really kind of just random things like how are you. What's work like? So I don't make table deals of any kind. I think they're really I don't think that's beneficial, because for it to be beneficial you're going to have to stab somebody in the back when they think they're not going to get stabbed in the back, which I've never understood players who think that they're not going to get F2 brute in the back. You know, it's the only reason why someone's making the deal is so they can make the best advantage out of it, essentially, in most cases. So I'm quite happy talking about, you know, I rescue you, you rescue me, because we've got all spec either side kind of thing, or whatever.
Yeah. So you make short-term deals instead of
I don't really sort of deal, I guess, in favours. It's slightly, it feels a bit more, and occasionally you make a deal, but not, I don't think a lot. And certainly, like my play groups, we've never really talked about that. So sometimes they talk about table balance, but only in a very kind of distant way, really.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
How often do you play at home?
Well, so I used to play weekly, and so I used to play with Laurie, who used to do the video blog and the Nurgle Prince of Hell demo that you can still see on YouTube. And he moved from this little play group to where I live, and because he's moved, he's now working for a company whose name I won't mention, but they make little miniatures about yay high and dice that you can roll, and they have a bar and a big eagle on all their products if you're interested. And in Livingston, Stu Jackson started them. Anyway, so he has like a staff night at work on a Tuesday, which is when we used to meet. So he can no longer meet on a Tuesday because his staff night is cheap beer and cheap food, and the other guys can't really move, so it means that we meet less frequently.
Okay.
So we probably meet 3 times a month, and also what's happened is that we've swapped. So because we end up with random number of players, we end up with a lot of board games as well.
Yeah.
So mainly fantasy flight games, but we have quite different tastes in our group. So there's one guy who really likes growing wheat and stuff like that, and I hate wheat. You know, the only thing wheat is good for, as far as I'm concerned, is bread. I like bread, and I guess if you consider, you know, other types of grass like barley or whatever, that goes into beer. Wheat should go into beer, by the way, just barley, and that's fine. I have no issues with it in that form, but I don't want to play a game where I grow wheat. I like stuff that involves.
Is that with a TH or a D?
T and an H, yes.
Okay.
I was thinking like H-T. Some other letters in between. Right, I actually meant that. Yeah. He might, I don't think he likes weed either, but no. So that's a bit of a shame. So now we probably actually play V-Test once a month, maybe.
Okay.
Which is a bit of a struggle. So I find that I need about 9 hours of play to get back into it, for my brain to. So, you know, all the pathways are still there, I like to think. And it's true, when you look at, you know, other players who skip big portions of playtime, like Ben Peel or Martin Weinman when he came back to New Yorker, those neurons still seem to fire properly and they can still work. So, but I do find I need to, like, a pre-game.
Yeah, you need to have the skills fresh.
Which is why I quite like Origins, and which now where North American Championship is, because you've got a week of games, and I find out I start off and it kind of goes like that, and I just remember how to play and all this kind of stuff. And I'm guessing it helped. So the fact that I'm no longer playing so much, because there aren't new cards, it means I don't have to work out how
the cards.
Yeah. And there's no new tech. I mean, well, it's a bit cruel. You do see new tech, but you see not so much new tech.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
So I just probably have been rambling at you. I'm trying my best, and I hope the mic is picking up my rambles. It doesn't just come out Cthulhu.
So,
hi.
Do you think you have any weaknesses as a player?
Yes, yeah.
And what are those?
What are my weaknesses? So when I play a game, so one of the first weaknesses is when I play a game, I either like to oust or die, I don't like fanning around.
Mm-hmm.
So I will take risks, and I think that's a positive aspect, but there's also a negative aspect about that. So if I can see that I can do the lunge exactly, and only if you don't have any of these clever cards that allow you to wake or direct, I'll be like, well, I'm not going to survive very long anyway, so I may as well do it while I can.
Yeah.
I'll generally do that, and that goes both ways.
Yeah.
But it's only a game, so you get to shoot out risks. I don't want to time out.
No.
Timing out is distressing, so that's probably one of them. Note how I made it sound like a positive at the same time.
Yeah.
Very rhetorical.
Yeah. You can tell I've written a few CVs in my time.
Yeah.
Next weaknesses.
Do you find this patient play style where you don't play aggressively, like backfire in a big way? Like you misjudge what your prey is playing and you actually needed to bleeding fast or things like that happen also?
Well, so I will, because I generally like minion advantage. So I guess a lot of people play a lot of mid-cap decks these days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see a lot more high-cap because of the villain, but I'll often have like 4 or 5 guys out, so I'll often be just tackling them all bleeding for 1. So it's not necessarily slow, but it doesn't look... It's really weird. You bleed somebody 4 times with 4 guys for 1, or you bleed them with 1 guy for 4 with the conditioning, and I often find that 4 guys looks and feels less threatening.
Yeah.
Particularly if you don't, if you have some lame disciplines, that they think they're fine or whatever, because you've got aneurysm and it can't be that bad.
Okay. What do you think about the future of competitive Vitas?
I don't think it's going to go anywhere in a bad way. I think players are really still enthusiastic. If you look at here, you've got loads of players in North American Championship still. You might condense it a bit more. So, I mean, I know some play groups, like Swedes still manage to do it, and some of the Finnish guys still manage to do monthly tournaments.
Yeah.
And I think some players will keep doing that until, why not? You meet up once a month and not that much of a commitment. And other guys will probably just do more frequent tournaments. So I'll probably, I was trying to do 6 a year. So I might try and cut that down to 4 a year and see if it increases the numbers of people turning up and gets a bit more going. So I think we're still good, and there's a lot of product available, so we can still do some drafting. Hint, because that's a real technical game, which is why Eric and Matt Morgan are broken at drafting. So I think it will go better, really. I worry in some respects that you might end up with a 2-tiered system where there are certain cards which are extremely good, which are printed in more recent sets, and some players lack access to those cards. Okay, you should be able to borrow them off friends or whatever for that tournament. It's not necessarily easy for everyone to do, but you might end up with a system where some guys have the good cards and some guys don't. And I guess you can see that in some of the secondary card sales in the prices, and that would be a shame. Yeah. So that's probably a bigger threat in a weird way, because you get burnt out then, because it's like, wow, I keep trapping my minion taps and everyone's got these villains, it's really awful.
Yeah.
And that's really depressing or whatever. That's probably the best example.
Yeah.
So I think in general it'll keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to tell. Looking forward to going across to North America next year, because it's really good. I really recommend it for anyone who's got any spare cash. And hopefully there'll be a nice solid EC next year as well.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere a little bit warmer, because this is very cold.
Says the Englishman.
Yeah, well, the UK has no sun and has a lot of rain, but it doesn't really have a wide range of temperature, so we're kind of there. And we don't get up to that nice bit up there, but we don't get that bit down there either. Wow.
How do you... Sorry? No, go ahead. I was thinking how you... because of how the new cards aren't being printed, But aside from the fact that there are actually no new physical cards, the fact that there are no, well, will be fewer among the new cards.
Yes.
This could be argued either way, that it's good or bad because for strategy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the lack of, or the diminished amount of new cards each year?
So, because I'm stuck trying to do some really lame clans, if people aren't producing cards for those clans, that would be the thing that distresses me the most. So, new stuff for Sandy and Abominations, for instance, would be awesome. But the rest of the stuff, I don't know. I mean, the core staples of the game. So if you look at chains, you've got your deflection, your governor, your conditioning. And they're all there from '94, and they haven't really changed. And occasionally you get some other cards added on top. So, I'm not saying they're used all the time, but that hasn't really changed. Other than didn't really change until you got Deep Song. You've got a few other disciplines which are, even though you've got lots of access to cards, it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. I mean, I don't think it matters that much. I think a small kind of number of cards is fine. I'd be happy with that. It depends how easy the design process goes, I guess, and how well it's received. So this design set is like a tester. See how it goes. If people are actually going to use them. So you're going to make these cards, which will fill in some holes in vampire groups and all these kind of things. And if they're used and it's positive, then they think about doing some more. That'd be a good thing. And I guess if it goes well, then they could do more frequently or larger, potentially, depending on what's required. But at the same side, I don't know how many cards there are in VTES, but 4,000, 3,500. Okay. We've got 3,500 cards. They're basically all legal. If you ignore the fact you've got to fill in some holes in some vampire groups, you've essentially got 5. I'm going to ignore group 6. You've got 5 blocks of vampires, which are solid. And I guess you haven't got 5 blocks. You've got 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6. That is 5 blocks, isn't it? Yeah, cool. I was right. You've got 5 blocks of vampires, and you don't really need to do any more.
Yeah.
So you fill in those holes, and that's kind of done. So the next thing would be, do you do something a bit more radical, and do you re-envision one of the, do you redo spat cardinals or archbishops or something to make them slightly different? Because I'm not quite sure what else you can do in vampires apart from adding new dual disciplines. So you've got a load of Ravenos with Dementation, for instance, at the moment. I previously had a load of Ravenos with Dominate. I don't know what you have next. A load of Ravenos with
Presence.
I was thinking presence, but no one would use it. Maybe. You get the idea. So it's all about, on the vampire side, on the short term I see it as in filling gaps. And then after that, I guess it's where you want to take it and what you want to do next. Do you want to do little groups where you've got 4 vampires who belong to a certain clan and they've got some kind of interesting tech between them or discipline shared out clan between them. That's probably where I see it going.
New cards, new kind of cards instead of increasing formats because of the power curve.
Yeah, you've got to be really careful with the power curve. So VTES traditionally is a game which most of the powerful cards have said back there in '94, with some exceptions, which is mainly probably COP, where that's probably the
Patch tablets, Senka Colvin, those card building.
Yeah.
That's
probably the expansion that's most changed the game. You have to be careful with trying to repeat that.
Yeah.
Some of those cards aren't. I don't know. I have my views on which cards I like and don't like, and those 3 cards, 2 of them I don't like, and the other one is fine, apart from it nukes a card which didn't need to be nuked.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
That's my perspective. So it depends where they want to go and what the design team come up with.
Okay.
I don't know.
You once told me that you don't like mind rape. Why is
did I tell you that?
Yeah, as a strategy when it comes to playing, or at least wasn't like a big fan of it.
Yeah, I think I probably lied.
Maybe is that part of your dislike for strong actions or like aggressive actions?
No, I really like mind rape. And the mind rape purge combo is great, but it's all about you've got to have the right tables. So if you end up with imbued on your table, that's quite boring. Unless you're playing Sans Lava, then it's like, well, okay. If you end up with weenies, it's quite difficult again. I have played both Sans Lava, Mind Rape, and the Sun, so I'm pretty the Sun, Mind Rape, and Esmeralda Mind Rape, which is probably easier now with the Blessing, because you've got another way of getting that Dominate Master on her.
Yeah.
So I think it's a high risk strategy, but it's not that high risk, because if you look at the vampires that generally do it, they all have titles, they all have chain, because you have to have it for Mind Rape, so you've got lots of options there, and votes and things like that, so it's okay. I think it's quite fair and viable. But the worst thing about it is if it goes wrong, you ruin someone else's day as well, which is unfortunate. I mean, the hilarious thing is when you get ousted. Back in the old days.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anymore. Yeah. But you've left 5 mind rapes on the table in one turn and you die, and the vampire's never on that. Glad that got changed.
Yeah, that was good change.
Good change. Yeah, and the weird thing where like Sentry Dep used to stay there but not do anything as well.
Okay.
Gameplay.
I've lost my train of thought again.
Sexy. I like it.
What do you think about vote captivation? As Ricardo has been under discussion as well. Maybe investing as well. Do you think they make the tables time out more because of how people get resources faster, or?
So voter cap. It's a tricky one. It's weird. It's been there since '94. You think if it was really, really, really bad, we would have spotted it by now, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm in two minds on voter cap.